Ladies and gentlemen, it is a very sunny Wednesday night.
It is.
In Fishers, Indiana, but you still know what that means. Welcome to the Evan and Aaron Show presents the Red and the Blue Soccer Chat. It's your homeboy, E-Dog, a.k.a. Evonius, a.k.a. Evan, here with my boy, Aaron, a.k.a. multi-million goal scorer on Cincinnati Bible College, a.k.a. Aaron, representing Manchester United, representing the Blues of Chelsea FC. My friend, it's just that kind of night. It's going to be that kind of night. And I'm feeling good tonight, believe it or not. And I think I have a little reason to feel good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do. I think I have a reason to feel good because, we'll get into it later, but I have chosen to take the glass half full on a lot of the stuff we're talking about tonight.
Mm-hmm.
The glass half full on a lot of stuff we're talking about tonight. There's too much negativity in the world right now, my friend.
There is.
And, the beautiful game has inspired me to say, you know what? We're going full tilt.
Stay
on
positive.
the glass half full. How you doing, man? What's up with you?
I'm very good, man. It's Wednesday night. We're back doing the show. Season's about to kick off. I think we're both kind of liking what we're seeing out of our club teams, if not so much out of the U.S. women's national team. So, yeah, feeling pretty good about it. And the sun is out and right in our eyes, despite the fact that we are indoors. So, you doing good?
I am.
Right on.
This is kind of a side note and things like that, but, my daughter has graduated college and, is trying to do the thing as far as figure things out. And we are in the midst right now, ladies and gentlemen, of trying to find out what is going on with her. So if I look distracted at times, she's texting back and forth, and we're going to see, and we may, say something during the show. We may not. But to jump right into the show, my friend.
Yes.
I think we got to talk a little Man U.
Yeah. So
Go ahead.
No, at first the transfer window seemed like not a lot was happening. It seemed like this protracted Glazers sale and potential takeover from either Sir Jim Ratcliffe or Sheikh Jim Yassim representing I believe it's a Qatari investment group, Saudi investment group, not sure. I won't make that comment. But it has not impeded, I think, what we've really tried to go after here. Okay. We got Mason Mount early on. I think it's a solid signing. He's a known entity in the Premier League.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I'm expecting him to set the world alight, but if he can maybe get back to some of those 2019, 2020 performances where he was really, really contributing, I think that could be positive. I think it's a good move for Chelsea and Manchester United for this. We both have needs. And then, we've followed that up with Andre Onana after the whole kind of David De Gea debacle. I really don't like the way that all went out, but we were looking for a more ball-playing goalkeeper, somebody who's going to be aggressive, and I think we've evidenced that already, that Andre Onana is going to not be afraid to vocalize his feelings about his own defense. Laid into Harry Maguire the other day.
Right.
I think too much is being made of it because, honestly, anybody who's played competitive sports, you've been chewed out and you've chewed out somebody else, and it's just part of it because you're holding each other to high standards.
That's what I was going to say. Don't you want to see that, though, as a fan?
I do.
You want to see holding each other accountable. You want to see them doing their thing.
No, absolutely. Yeah. And a goalkeeper's word, I'm sorry, is gospel. If they tell you to do something, you do it because they can see the entire field. And maybe it was just, this one of the first few times they've been on the field together in a truly competitive match. So I can sort of understand that. But yeah, this is what you want to see. And then looks like the Rasmus Højlund deal is done. he has played well, but he's still very, very young. I think trying to say he's the next Erling Haaland and he's going to be a Golden Boot winner is just placing too much pressure on the guy. Let's let him get in. Let's let him put on the jersey for a little bit, run around and see how he's fitting into what Ten Hag is putting together. And then we're rumored. It seems to be close to a deal on Sofiane Amrabat, defensive midfielder for Morocco and Fiorentina. He had a very, very good World Cup. I'm seeing some people kind of say he's overrated, but it looks like we're going to get him from somewhere between $25 to $40 million. So
that's not overrated.
That seems like decent market value for a player that probably needs to prove himself at a slightly higher level. But he played very, very well at the World Cup. I distinctly recall him as a standout player while watching Morocco at the World Cup. So, and we've been linked with a handful of goalkeepers to bring in as a little bit more of a push for Onana. I think we noticed when David De Gea didn't have competition, maybe some of those errors crept in. So you want to see that. You want competition at every position.
Right.
I'd like to see a few more sells. Not because I want to see people gone, but we got to finance these further things. So guys like Harry Maguire, Donny van de Beek, Fred or McTominay. I'm not sure we can afford to lose both, although if we sell them and bring in Sofiane Amrabat, now we're looking at having a strong central midfield with options. All those guys are slightly different players. Your Casemiro, your Amrabat, your Eriksen, Mount, and Bruno, who drops deep from time to time. I think that gives us a lot of good options in the middle of the field. And you've got Garnacho coming through, Palestri hopefully coming through. Not sure where we stand with Sancho, but definitely Anthony. So I think we stand in good stead. I'd like to see Martial, Maguire, Van de Beek, and Fred and McTominay find good homes, bring us in a little bit of money, let them go somewhere they're going to play, and get the guys in that we need to complete Erik Ten Hag's vision, which we saw the beginning of last year, and I think there's a lot to be positive about. So what are you seeing as the opposition or a competitor?
Well, what I was going to say, and I was going to ask you a question, like the top two you'd like to get, like the top two guys you'd like to bring in.
I think the Harry Kane ship has sailed, just from a pure financial standpoint. I saw Bayern Munich tabled a $100 million deal today, and I don't think we can potentially match that. Quite frankly, if you're Daniel Levy, you're not selling Harry Kane to a direct rival or team that's even better than you. I mean, that just seems silly to me.
Yeah.
It smacks of Arsenal selling us Robin van Persie, and we win. I mean, he was the missing piece of the puzzle. So I don't see that happening. Maybe cover in a few positions. Is Højlund going to start on a regular basis? Maybe find us a veteran, looking for one final contract where, it's not going to cost a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Maybe get somebody on a free. I mean, let's face it, Zlatan Ibrahimovic was some great business for Manchester United. Obviously, guys like that don't grow on trees. But you find a 32, 33-year-old striker, let's get, the Uruguayan guy that we had a couple years ago. Why is his name escaping me right now? But he was at PSG with Zlatan, and I can't believe I'm spacing his name right now.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
But something like that I think would be good. But beyond that, we're getting close, I think, to the vision that Ten Hag has, and I think at some point you got to say these are my players, and we're going to let them try to win some games.
Yeah. I think as the opposition, I think if you get rid of both McTominay and Fred, and you bring in
Amrabat.
Amrabat. Do you believe, because this is what I'm looking at, I'm like, okay, he's excellent. He's an excellent. But does that thin you a little bit as far as bringing in people in case something were to go wrong or something were to happen?
No, because I think that gives us 4 players for 2 spots. And I think that's good.
Okay.
And then you have an opportunity, say a couple of guys do go down hurt and you need to bring somebody in, that's where you got to say we trust our academy.
Yeah.
And we're going to, maybe Kobe Mainu is ready. He's looked fairly decent in preseason. I'm not sure what his best position is. I've seen him in some advanced roles. I've seen him, starting in the middle alongside Kaza. So I think, or Mount, I think it was. But I think we've got options to see if maybe it's time for some of these guys. Is it time for Pellistri to get some more minutes when Anthony is, maybe not in a good run of form, or he's a little injury prone, likes to go down a little bit. So maybe Pellistri gets his opportunities.
Sure.
And I think the history of Manchester United is indelibly linked with a lot of young players coming through the academy and giving these 17, 18, 19-year-old kids an opportunity to show what they've got. And I like Fred and I like McTominay, and they've brought us some good success, but I don't think they're part of Eric's vision moving forward.
Okay.
And be professional. Say, look, this is not going to be your future. We thank you for what you've done here, and we're going to try to get good money out of you and get you to a place where you can contribute. And I think both of them can, and I think we're going to get the British tax on McTominay and get a little bit of extra money out of him.
Sure,
I'd love to see Fred, go back to a Champions League quality team, because I know a lot of people had some complaints, but the guy's talented. The guy's very, very talented. He starts for Brazil alongside Casemiro. That's not an accident.
No.
It's not a mistake. So I like where we are. We've had some defensive issues in the last couple of games, shipping a few goals.
Yeah.
But I'm going to chalk that up to new goalkeeper, different guys in the back line. That's the toughest spot to get really, really good gelling going on.
Here's my thoughts about Man U right now. I absolutely love the fact that Man U is kind of just flying under the radar. I think that what that does is it opens up different players, opens up Ten Hag to be able to, kind of work behind the scenes on some things. Like there's not this big, big splash or this big expectation.
Sure.
Like, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that, and blah, blah. I like the way and the tenor in which Man U has gone about things, especially during the purchasing kind of, back and forth. I think they're solid. I think Man U will once again, in my opinion, and this is not our prediction show. I think that's coming up maybe
not yet,
a couple of weeks. But I think Man U will be right up there again, not only competing in Europe but also competing in Champions League, I believe.
I would expect them to be more than just fighting for top four this year.
Okay. The only reason I didn't say that is just because the goalkeeping.
Look, this is how you're supposed to go.
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
You're supposed to build.
Absolutely.
And I think with what we saw last year, and the fact that I think you could see the difference in quality and talent in that FA Cup final with Man City. They at the time were a better team, and they've retooled and brought in some good players. Guardiola today is going to be tough. But they have the same issues everybody else has. You've got to figure out how to put the right 11 players on the field, yada, yada. And is there going to be a letdown? They won the treble last year. Is there going to be a letdown? It's hard.
It is.
It's hard to go from, the team trying to get to the top of the mountain to then being there and defending it. And I know from firsthand, watching Manchester United go through it and listening to guys like Giggs and Scholes and the Nevilles talk about what it takes to maintain that mental and physical level.
Yeah.
It's not easy. So, they've got their work cut out for them. Manchester United have a very clear goal in mind, and that's to challenge for, I think, all of the trophies this year.
Yeah.
A Champions League is probably a bridge too far, but I've seen crazier things.
I don't know. I think that they are positioned well. So, yes. I sat today and watched the YouTube video that was looking at all the goals in the 16 and 17 season, and I was very, very pleased.
Yes.
All the Chelsea goals. Oh, man.
What have you liked so far?
Here's what I've liked. Pochettino's style of play demands that the players be fit.
Oh, yeah.
What we saw at the end of last season were lethargic, beaten down, run down, tired, discouraged players.
Yes.
Please do not write hate mail for me. I understand that this was the Summer League Series, okay? But what you saw with them was an entirely new kind of dynamic. You saw with them like this energy. You saw with them like, you know, if someone were missing a goal or something like that. You know, Enzo this last match had a couple of tries, and immediately Enzo's like, he's fired up. But then you had Mudryk come over. You had Jackson come over, say, it's okay, we got this. You did not see that last year. So I think that because of the fitness that Pochettino has put in, we are seeing more and more and more of the Chelsea pride being put back in these players physically. And it's transitioning out into the field and out as they're playing. And I love seeing that. He actually said, I think during one of his interviews, I think it was the interview after the 1-1 tie with Newcastle, he said, you know what, I love our attitude. I love our attitude. I love how the players are playing. There's some things that we can shore up that, you know, there were plenty of chances for them to actually beat Newcastle. And we didn't get to say that a lot last season.
Correct.
So that's a good thing. Number two, you're starting to see Pochettino work his magic not only with the fitness of the players, but the players seem to be buying into this system. You're going to have a few, and those are the few, honestly, that probably I think we've gotten rid of most of them, that are just going to be like, no, I don't want to do this. The players that are there right now seem to be buying in the system, and I literally watched at this last match them having like seriously several times where you saw the center box, where you saw all four, you know, right there in the center to back up a charging Ben Chilwell on the left. And so it opens up the attack so that Pochettino can bring in, you know, okay, Jackson can be the 9, but then all of a sudden Chilwell's coming up, brings up, you know, Nkunku and Nkunku, and then you can bring in Enzo can kind of float in from the middle. It just opens everything up. That center box is what needs to be there because most top-tier teams at some point during the match have it. They're able to stop. They're able to jump in the middle of passes. They're able to create turnovers really quickly, which we did not do last year.
Right.
We played so far up, so close, man, that they were literally playing 2v1, getting the ball around us, and then just marching down the field. I love seeing that. We can cover like that. And then number 3, here's the big thing. While I love seeing all that, you know, as a Chelsea fan, I got to put in the but.
Sure.
Blues fans, we have to hang in there, and we have to allow Pochettino to work his magic over the course of at least 2 seasons. Now, here's the big wild card. Is Todd Boehly going to allow him to work his magic over the course of 2 seasons? Now, I think he does if we obviously don't finish 12th.
Right.
I think with this squad that we have, we can look at 7th. We might even be able to get, you know, 6th. And we might be able to, you know, to play for a cup next year.
Sure.
You know? So I think we can do that. But if we don't, and let's say we finished 8th, but we see a marked improvement, are the Chelsea fans and is Todd Boehly going to allow him to continue to do his thing? I would like to think so. But Chelsea fans, some of us, can be incredibly fickle.
True.
I've read it, guys. I'm reading stuff. I'm reading about us, and damn it, we can be incredibly fickle. We've got to just stay the course with this because this is exactly what was going on with Manchester United.
Yep.
And Ten Hag coming in, doing his thing. Okay, we have to just do the same thing. But I'm incredibly pleased with what I see. And oh, by the way, I'm very happy with Levi Colwill being signed for 6 years. 20-year-old kid at central defender, just incredible, incredible attacker on the ball, off the ball. I love it. Great sign.
I'll join in on that in a second, but real quick, we've got our shots for a quick halftime. Thank you to JoJo and as ever the entire staff at Chatham Tap Fishers up here.
That's right.
Can't thank them enough for letting us do this, and it is the best spot in town to be watching soccer on a Saturday or Sunday morning,
absolutely,
or a Tuesday
tomorrow,
or Wednesday afternoon, or whenever they will be showing games.
Dortmund, Chelsea.
Need to shout out that we've got a Sun King Tap takeover on August
20.
I think it's August 26th. I don't know. Okay, that'll be tough.
22nd, I think.
22nd. All right, August 22nd. We'll get that for you on the site. Sun King Takeover, and also they have a new seasonal menu. Quite a few new items on there. If you've ever had the Montauk's, there's now a Montauk hamburger. Get out of here.
Come on,
and there are, I believe, 4 new craft cocktails added to the menu at least.
At least.
And Evan tried them all the other day, and
the new fashion.
At a minimum, he was fun to watch after drinking 4 cocktails. So much appreciated to Chatham Tap. Get up here, check out these new menus with the cocktails and the wonderful service that we get up here. And cheers.
Yep.
Thank you, JoJo.
Jump on our Instagram because we are posting all this stuff there.
Yep. Yes. We've entered the 21st century with our socials. We've got a little. We've got a new advisor. Advisor. What do we say? An advisor.
Yes, a new advisor.
Getting us on all the socials. So check out the link in our bio on Instagram for our link tree, so you can get to everything there.
Yep.
We've got a new hosting platform, Captivate, which will hopefully get us on to a few more podcast spots. Trying to work on that Apple stuff. And Facebook, YouTube, and we appreciate the follows. Back to Chelsea. I think everything you said is pretty spot on. I think you are right to say, hey, let's get behind this team and let's hope for the best, but temper our expectations. I feel like you could potentially have a season like United had last year from the standpoint of sometimes it was 3-4 games in a row where you're like, wow, this team's there. And then 1 or 2 or 3 games in a row where you're like, okay, still got some shortcomings.
Yes.
We can't rotate quite to that level yet. You're bringing in some youth, and I think that's great. You're planning for the future, and Pochettino is looking at guys that he wants to build into this team. But there's going to be growing pains, and you've got to be big enough to say today wasn't our day, and let's move on to the next one. Now, if the results pile up and they're not going the right direction, let's revisit this.
Yes.
But how many managers did you have last year? 3. So I think we don't want to have a repeat of that, no matter what happens.
We do not want to have a repeat of that.
And you want to have players that want to be there and belong.
Yes.
And for a variety of reasons, I think you had a lot of guys who really toward the end of the season last year wanted to be somewhere else. Not so much that they didn't care. I don't buy into this the players don't have passions. The players don't want to win. Every player wants to win. You don't get to this level without having an amazing fight in you and a willingness to push yourself to the next level.
Yeah.
But when other people aren't matching you, when you see the shortcomings of your club, and when people in a position to do something about it aren't rectifying that, I can see how that grind gets you. I've been through it for the last decade. I've watched several false dawns with Manchester United. So I urge you Chelsea fans to just get behind your club, be fans, and just keep your head up on those days when it doesn't go your way, because ultimately you're building towards something. You can't have an expectation that you're going to win a treble this year. If you're ahead of schedule and win a few things, fantastic, really fantastic. But you've got to be honest with your expectations.
Yes.
And just be a strong fan for your club. Get behind them. That's what they need right now. They need that support.
That's it. And so, with that being said, my friend, I think we are transitioning to hello, to the USA. USA. And if we're lucky, we may have a calling guest at some point.
We'll see. We'll see if we get that. So
I got a lot, but you go first.
Thus far, we saw the United States open their Women's World Cup 2023 in Australia and New Zealand.
Yep.
With a victory over Vietnam, 3-0. It was probably not the dominant performance a lot of people were expecting, but it's still a 3-0 victory in your first game at the World Cup. It's hard to shake a stick at that.
Sure.
The Netherlands match, I think, exposed the fact that maybe the U.S.'s game plan was still over-reliant on physicality.
Yeah.
The Netherlands showed a few different looks at us, I thought. Actually, I'm not joining the doom and gloom crowd that they got played off the park in the first half. I would say for the first 25 minutes, the United States had possession and opportunities. They really didn't make the most of them, and that's a fair criticism. And the Netherlands basically played to wait for the United States to give them an opportunity to make a mistake, and the U.S. did. The U.S. gifted that opportunity to them with some bad communication in defense. Ball ends up, pinging around a little bit. Netherlands got their goal. I thought it was good to see the U.S. fight back, and I think, we were sitting here watching that match live, and all of us said the exact same thing. This game is calling out for Rose Lavelle.
Yeah.
And Rose Lavelle came on, and she did what few other U.S. players can do, and that is attack people with the ball, draw defenders, pick a pass, open up space, play those lines, and create problems for the opposition.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. And I truly felt like a second goal could have come. And had that second goal come, we'd be having a different conversation.
Very different conversation.
Right now.
Very different conversation.
What is concerning is the third match.
Yes.
I have not had a chance to actually watch the full match. It was on at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I watched it today.
Sunday morning or Sunday night, Monday morning, something like that. I think was the
Tuesday
case.
morning.
Monday night, Tuesday morning. Okay.
Yeah.
So didn't get a chance to see it live. I've seen the highlights, of which there are few.
Yeah.
And it's cliche to now say that the player of the match was the post. But I also think some of the criticism is a little harsh.
Yes.
Former players are allowed to weigh in, and of all of them, Carly Lloyd especially is allowed to weigh in. But is but one opinion. And I think the criticism was too far, especially to question whether or not these women want to win and that they have passion for it. I do think that's an insane thing to say, as Vlatko said. That said, the criticisms are fair. They have not played at the same level. I think perhaps 14 new players is a bit too much all at once. And it's really not clear what our true system and strategy is here. There were a lot of misplaced passes, especially in that Netherlands match.
Yeah.
Are you concerned that we cannot get past Sweden?
Let me build up to that.
Okay.
First, second match, absolutely. 100% agree with what you said. That third match, I would say Haran played her guts out. She was running.
Dave Sauer with a mouthful of pizza, everybody.
Hey. Pizza. Hey, you know what? We should get we should get a picture of that pizza so everybody can see what they're missing. This is, and guys, listen, this is Dave, one of the best guys you'd ever want to know. Look
at this pizza. This is some good stuff.
I don't know how you can get better.
You got to get here. So
this is the build your own.
Look at it.
This is Burger King. You can have it your way. You can have it your way.
I love it.
There you go.
I love it.
Excellent, brother.
Thank you.
Haran hustled her tail off that game, that match, and I think if anybody were to get anything, it would be her.
Mm-hmm.
I could not understand why you didn't, and I hate even saying this. But your attackers, for the most part, were not doing well. Rose, I love Rose. You know I love me some Rose.
Mm-hmm.
She did not play well. Why?
Against Portugal?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was. I mean, once you watch the full match, you're like, "That's not Rose. It's not Rose. It was."
Well, she's not 100%.
I know. But why not pull her at the 65th or 70th minute, and just give a half hour to Trinity Rodman, or give a half hour to another player to come in off the bench to kind of inject some energy into the team. I've got to put this. I got to put this on, on our manager. I got to put it on them. I got to put it on him.
A lot of people are criticizing Vlatko right now.
Vlatko, missed an opportunity there to maybe inject some energy into our team. And the fact is that you have to also remember, as you said, this is a young team.
Yes.
This is an incredibly young team, and they're still learning to play together. I mean, for example.
That's true. But you had an entire World Cup qualifying campaign to get this right.
I totally get it. But I will say this. Qualifying for the World Cup, yes, is intense. Actually competing in the World Cup, and you know this.
Well, I don't personally.
No, I mean,
that'd be super cool.
Right, that would be super cool.
Hanover did not qualify for the World Cup, for those people who
going through the playoffs in football, yes, that's intense. But actually playing in the Super Bowl, knowing that, hey, this is it, that's different.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think probably the biggest issue in maybe this is what Carly meant, when she was talking about the mindset and things like that, is that you've got a lot of players who haven't been on this stage.
Yeah.
You have 14 players who've never been on this stage before, and it may not be enough.
True.
It may not be enough for Megan Rapinoe to be the locker room gal, because she thus far has not really contributed. Alex Morgan looks a bit of a shell of herself. I don't think we've seen much of Kelly O'Hara.
I think you start and you let Rapinoe, because she's earned the right. You let Rapinoe tell you when she's out of gas, because she's that kind of player. I think you start her. I think you start her. Yes, I think you start her.
Interesting.
And here's the thing. You let her help set the tone with other veterans of the team. And as that tone is set, then those subs that are coming in will know, like, look, don't mess this up. You keep this same momentum. You keep this same fire about you. I mean, what do we have to lose at this point?
Well, true. I'm concerned that Alex does not look anywhere near as sharp in front of goal as we've seen her previously.
True.
I don't know what to chalk that up to, other than, especially, I got to go back to watching the Netherlands match and how disjointed we looked for long stretches. And very clearly we went to bypass lines and we're trying to play the ball into her over the course of, 40 to 60 yards. And I'm just not sure she's got the ability to cover that much ground, to be able to hold off players, and then end up back in the box again to get that layoff, to score that goal.
Yeah.
I don't want to believe it. I love Alex. She's been a great servant. Yeah. But at the same time, my eyes aren't deceiving me. We're not getting the output from her that we've gotten previously, and maybe that's because she's not getting better service. Once we move the ball out wide and begin to taking on people in different positions. But again, you see how these injuries and things have hurt us. We don't have a Tobin Heath out there on the right wing waiting to skin somebody. We don't have Kristen Press. Not Kristen Press. Sorry. And now I'm gonna blank on everybody. But we don't have some of these players that helped us get to the World Cup that we would have been relying on these situations.
Let me run with that for a bit, because that's exactly what I was going to say. Our call-in guest is going to call in like a couple minutes, so that's good.
Sweet.
The injuries that we had coming in, if we were in 2019, we could have sat those injuries, because we were still the most dominant team in the world.
Yep.
First two matches of the group stage in 2023, the gap has I don't want to say it yet. I still think we have overall, when we're playing well, the best women's team in the world. Mm-hmm. When we're not playing well as we are now, we may be fifth. And so that's the issue, is that we haven't had a chance to set these injuries. We haven't had a chance to let Rose, kind of just get back into. No, we had to use Rose, in that second match and be like, we need you to come in and help us. You know, we haven't had a chance. I mean, so if fitness is an issue, that may be our Achilles heel as we go through, this knockout stage. It's like, okay, can we get our fitness to a point where we can at least maintain a level of play that we saw in our opening match to be competitive enough to either give Sweden a run for their money or beat Sweden. And our guest is calling now.
Well,
okay.
All right, let's see if this will work for us.
Hopefully it works.
Io, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yay for technology.
Io.
So, Io, we're discussing, I don't know if you've been able to hear us, we've been discussing the U.S. women's national team and basically some of their, I guess, say less than stellar performances thus far. What are your thoughts about these first 3 games and our chances against Sweden?
Oh man, how much time we got?
We're trying to keep it under an hour.
We're trying to keep it under an hour, so you got about 20 minutes if you really want it.
All right, cool. All right, so I don't know what to begin. All right, so let's start here. So the discourse around this team has been just simply annoying, and I think both of y'all know.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest women's national team fan because my team is the Super Falcons, Nigeria.
Sure.
So that's my team. I mean, I don't root against the U.S., but in the way that's not my team. But I just the discourse online, you can immediately tell people do not watch women's football, and it's infuriating because here's the thing: people are complaining about Vlahovic, right? Which is a fair criticism. But the thing is, if any of them have watched the Olympics, anybody could have seen this coming from a mile away.
Okay.
We'll start there. Second of all, they're missing Becky Sauerbrunn. Now, that's not to say a bunch of teams aren't losing their best players. Like England doesn't have Beth Mead.
Oh yeah, they're missing a lot.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they're missing Leah Williamson. So it's not like you guys are the only team to lose people, but losing Becky Sauerbrunn is a big deal. That's why you see Julie Ertz in the center of defense.
Right.
That's why she's back there. So now you can make the argument that's another Vlahovic error. That's why you could probably put Julie Ertz in the midfield. If you stop a lot of teams through the midfield, then the defense won't have to do as much cleaning up. Different story. But the other thing is first off, I'm beginning to think that the U.S. women's national team job is kind of like USA basketball. There's no upside to this job.
Oh,
it's like they expect you to win, but the second you don't win, they are coming for your neck.
Sure.
And it's the rest of the world is catching up. And I don't know if I may have told y'all this, but I remember after 2019 when I was talking to one of my best friends, Alexis Cass, and I specifically told her, if European teams decided to get serious and invest in women's football, it's a wrap. We're done here. So what are we talking about? Not that the U.S. won't be competitive, but it's a wrap.
So, Io, real quick, do you think we're seeing that happen right in front of our eyes right now?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Honestly, you could have seen that in the Olympics.
Good point.
Do you feel we're not bringing through technical enough players to compete on the same level with that's another friend of the pod, Nick, has pointed out that the European teams have invested heavily in their clubs. And they're very much. Canada probably, I think, despite getting bounced, I think Canada's got more players playing overseas than the U.S. does. Is that the core of it?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think on the U.S. team, the only person playing abroad is Lindsey Horan for PSG. If I'm not mistaken, I think she's the only one, and that may have to change because the NWSL is not the end-all-be-all league anymore.
No.
Like I said, once Chelsea have been investing in women's team for years now. Now Real Madrid is in on the party. They got Linda Caicedo last season.
Well, look at Barcelona. Look at what Barcelona's team has done.
Yeah, and I always said the second Europe decides enough of this, we're going to invest, because the thing about it is this could have been done sooner. They had the infrastructure for this.
Yeah.
It was all there. They just didn't want to. Now they want to. It's a wrap. I'll be surprised if the U.S. wins this World Cup again. I won't say it's impossible, but it's highly unlikely. A, because of that, B, we are asking a lot for a team to win 3 World Cups in a row. And that's not even to mention the fact that if they actually do make this final, that will be 4 World Cup finals in a row.
And that is, and it would be magnificent. But don't you think there's a certain aspect of, Brazil goes into every men's World Cup expecting to win, no matter how good their team is. It is the mentality.
Absolutely.
Right.
The U.S. women's national team carries that mentality, and we still have an infrastructure that gets our young girls playing competitively at an earlier age. It's kind of the opposite of the men's program for the last few decades. The women, I've been encouraged. It's been discouraging to be a European female trying to play sports. Do you think it's going to happen that quickly? I mean, the U.S. and other nations have caught up in terms of men's football globally. That doesn't mean everybody else is stopping, but you can see that gap getting closed. Is this gap getting closed much quicker in women's football?
Oh, absolutely. So wait, what is your question again? I just want to make sure I answer it correctly.
Just that I still think we have an advantage from the standpoint that our infrastructure has been around for a while, and we're still getting young girls playing soccer at an early age. And I feel like if we just adapt a little bit more to the technical side of things and encourage, much like we do our young men, hey, get overseas to these better coaching and academies at 14, 15 years old. If we do that, can we maintain a certain amount of dominance? Not total dominance, but I mean, you look. There's a reason why there's only been 6 teams to ever win the Men's World Cup. It's not easy, and it comes from tradition and building. These institutional structures.
Yeah, but let me say this real quick though. How much does that have to do with not only your fan base? I mean, because it just seems like we're putting so much pressure now on these women to win when the prior World Cups that they've won, like hardly anybody. And I'm not saying hardly anybody watched, but as each World Cup came, more and more people watch, and now they don't understand the process of building or rebuilding.
Well, I think that's some of what Ayo's talking about with the ridiculousness of the discourse. But there's ridiculous discourse. I mean, look at British newspapers in the build-up to a men's World Cup. It's coming home. It's always coming home. And then the second that they don't win, and let's face it, they've had pretty good showings in international competitions for the last few tournaments, but they're still pilloried for it. Yeah. They're absolutely raked over the coals for a semifinal loss, and it seems ridiculous. And I don't think the American soccer population's educated enough to have those level of criticisms.
Yeah. And that's what's so infuriating about this. But even to the point about you brought up England. Even if Gareth Southgate doesn't win the World Cup, my man ain't getting fired.
Right.
If we're gonna be honest.
Yep.
Vlahovic doesn't win this thing. Like if they lose to Sweden on Sunday, honestly, he should just set up shop in Australia. He ain't coming back.
It's a wrap.
Yeah.
He's done.
But he should be. He should be fired.
Absolutely. I'm not a Vlahovic fan. I'll tell you that straight up. He should be. I'm just saying, like. The expectations are so high. Too many people are discrediting how many of these teams have caught up. And like I said, it wasn't like they had to build this infrastructure. And they had to build this infrastructure from scratch. They just attached it to club teams and went from there. The infrastructure was already there. It's just the want to that they didn't have at the time.
Yeah.
And now that these European teams have that want to, we're done here. Like I said after 2019, I'll be surprised if the U.S. win a World Cup within the next 3.
So is our only hope for Greg Berhalter to take over the women's national team?
Wow. You did.
Oh man, I think
Zidane.
U.S. Soccer Twitter will implode. My bad, U.S. Soccer X, because it's no longer Twitter.
Right.
Would implode. Oh man, oh god. I would immediately delete my account if that happened.
All right, Ayo, we got a couple minutes left for you. Let me get your quick prediction on USA Sweden, and then your prediction for the remainder of the Cup.
All right, so USA Sweden. Rose Lavelle not playing is a big blow.
She's definitely out.
No doubt about it.
She's out?
She picked up too many yellows.
Oh.
Yes.
The irony.
So she ain't playing. Yeah, so Sweden is my dark horse. So I'm going to go Sweden. Because the last time Sweden played the U.S. competitively was the Olympics, and the U.S. got waxed.
Yep.
So I'm going to say U.S. 1, Sweden 2.
Okay.
And then Vlahovic loses his job, and then
he has to walk home from Australia.
Walk home from Australia, and the entire discourse.
And they're going to be calling you the next day, Io.
Oh, they better not call me. Oh God, they better not call me. They know it's good for that. I have England winning it.
Okay.
The whole thing.
Okay.
Even with all their injuries, you think they can pull it out?
I'm a big believer in Serena Wigman.
Okay.
She is the best mind in this tournament, and is not even close.
Even Sam Kerr in Australia, no chance for them to make it to the final, or what?
I think they could, but my money's on England. Like I said, I believe that much in Serena Wigman. She's just that good.
Wow.
Of a manager.
Nice.
I believe she can do it.
She has looked good. Lauren James has looked really good as a player. By the way, you Chelsea fans, you're welcome for Manchester United side to let her go.
So much.
I just want to say, you know how big I am on Lauren James.
She's awesome.
I've been preaching to y'all about her for the better part of like the last 3 years.
Yeah. I'm so sad that United lost her, but I also understand why she wants to go to Chelsea. That makes complete and total sense, and I think it's one of the coolest stories in all of professional sports. Really.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm big on Lauren James. So, like I said, I think England is winning it. Like I said, I'm a big believer in England. Unfortunately, I think this is where the bust off for the U.S. It's going to be hard, but I think this is the last go-around for a lot of those people. And U.S. going to have a hard look at itself and look at its league and figure out what they want to do from here, because the world is here, and they're going to have to deal with it somehow.
Final question for you. Can a loss against Sweden be a catalyst for improvement for the U.S.?
Maybe.
That was a long, ominous
that was a
pause,
long pause, buddy. Woo. All righty. Well, thank you. Go ahead.
Is this around? Real quick, because like I don't. I mean, if the Olympics weren't, I don't.
Right. True.
I mean, the alarm bells were going off in Tokyo, so I don't know. Maybe. I'll go with maybe.
All righty. Well, Ayo, thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully we get a bit more of you throughout the upcoming season, both on Chelsea and women's international soccer.
Go
really
Blues.
appreciate your time, man. Thank you, and get those kids to bed and help your wife out, man.
Will do. I appreciate y'all. Come on, you Blues.
Right on, buddy.
Yes,
Take care.
Take care.
Ayo De Leomos, good friend of the pod. Love having a chat with him,
Yes.
and especially his wisdom of international women's game, because I don't possess that level. I don't. I've been watching so much more of it, and I really do enjoy it, and I'm so excited that it has finally gotten the financial pull to make people think it's important enough to pay attention to it. It's taken a long time, but it's fantastic.
Yes,
so.
I am but a Padawan learner whenever it comes, but I am coming along, my friend. But I'm not a Padawan when it comes to this section of the show, the Hey Aaron segment. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, wow, that was the drunk crowd. that was the early crowd right there. Tonight we're going light on some things.
All right.
And, in light of some great movies that have come out.
Ooh,
Oppenheimer, Barbie.
I saw Oppenheimer.
I was like, you know what? I'm inspired. And so, which roles would you and I play in the following movies?
Okay. Ooh, this is fun. See, this is throwback to the old show.
Yes,
this is throwback to the old show. Right on. I like it.
All right. Now, if you don't, I think you've seen all of these.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you have.
If I haven't, shame me in the comments.
Nope, that's all right. That's all right. All right. Number one, which roles would we play in Ocean's 11?
Oh, man. Gosh. I'd love to say that I would be Brad Pitt's character.
Okay.
But I think chances are I'm Matt Damon in that movie. I think I'm getting a little picked on. I think I'm probably
Really?
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Gosh, Hold on. I
was going to say Don Cheadle.
I missed an opportunity here for you and I to be the brothers that keep picking on each other the whole time.
Yes. That's exactly where my mind went on that, man.
Gosh, for that role, I don't. You're Chang. You have to go in and do all the gymnastics.
The fuck you been?
The fuck you been?
I love it. That's great.
Yeah, I'm gonna make you Chang. You have to do all the gymnastics.
I'm good with that. I'm good with that. I've got a mansion in Miami that I had to sell. Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw.
Never seen it.
Oh,
not seen it. I've only watched one Fast and Furious movie from start to finish, and that's Tokyo Drift, and it has nothing at all to do with the rest of the entire series. And that's why I found it to be a good movie.
Jason Statham.
Yeah, I know who's in it.
Oh, you know who's in it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
clearly I'm Jason Statham and you're The Rock.
My God.
I mean, come on now.
I love this guy. All right, here we go.
Give me an eyebrow. Give me an eyebrow. There you go.
The Avengers.
Oh, gosh, I want to believe I'm Tony Stark, but I'm probably Bruce Banner.
No. I'm sorry.
Am I totally Tony Stark?
I think you're totally Tony Stark.
All right, I'll stick with Tony Stark.
You're Tony.
And I think you are Captain America.
Aw,
that's
seriously?
That's America's ass right there.
Which is this is a Midwestern.
That's America's Nassau right there.
Oh my God. This is the humorous one I threw in.
Okay.
And Rocky.
Oh, shit.
Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't matter. All the Rockies.
Well, you're Ivan Drago.
I must break you.
And I am Paulie.
Oh, I love it. That is a whiplash. I did not even think. Okay, we just talked about this movie the other day.
Okay.
Victory.
I love Victory.
It's such a great movie.
Well, you're clearly Sylvester Stallone as the haphazard goalkeeper.
The haphazard goalkeeper there. Come on, dude.
I'm Pele. I do this.
Yes,
I do this.
yes,
I do this. I do
yes,
this.
yeah.
Goal.
This is why.
Easy.
This is why this is so easy, guys. Like we read each other. Finally, Magic Mike XXL.
Have not seen it, but I am very clearly all right. And you can be Magic Mike. That's fine. You can be Channing Tatum.
Really? Really?
Yeah.
I thought maybe
I don't have the abs for that, man.
Yeah, I don't either.
So I went for Matthew McConaughey. Whatever.
Okay, there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the Hey Aaron segment for tonight. You heard it right here from your boy Channing Tatum. So anyway, we are now to the segment of the show that wraps us up, and we're going to get out of here under an hour, my friend.
Right on, man. We got it.
So
we got it.
This is the Aaron Takes Us Home type segment. This is Aaron's final thoughts. We love you. Please make sure that you follow this U.S. women's national team. Guys, let's get behind them.
Yeah.
They're not playing well right now. That's okay.
They need us.
They need us, okay? So if you can get up.
Be that 12th man.
Watch their match at 5 a.m. on Sunday, please do that. But, Aaron, what do you have for us?
I'm going to revisit something that we've talked about a lot on this show, and we talked about it earlier. And it's about being a fan. It's about being a fan of this team right now that isn't playing at their best. And, yeah, they do deserve some criticism. But I tell you what, as a player, you're always the first to know. I know when I've not had a good game. I don't need to turn on Twitter to find out that Aaron misplaced some passes or Aaron looked like his body language wasn't great. They know. And it's fine to say that, but once that whistle blows, you got to get behind him. And let me give you a little story. Last night, I'm also a Reds fan. And last night,
oh good Lord!
Last night, and as is Evan. And last night, the Reds got shellacked, absolutely shellacked. But I tell you what, I sat there saying I still support this team. This is just one game out of 162. They've still got a lot to fight for to be the first in this division. And on top of that, you watched them fight. They could have just laid down.
Could have just been 20-2
and done nothing. But that game got out of hand, and they still continued to get up there. They still kept hacking at that ball. They got a few more runs. They bunched some hits together. It went, they ended up with 7 runs, which in a lot of games will win it. And I tell you what, you support a team like that, they turn around, maybe we get the victory tonight. So, Chelsea fans, it's going to be a tough, long season probably. There's a lot to look forward to, but there's going to be some rough days. United fans, we might be looking at, an opportunity to challenge, but there's going to be some setbacks. There's going to be some teams that causes problems, and it's not always going to be Man City. It's going to be your Norwiches. It's going to be a cold Tuesday night in Stoke, as they say. So stay behind your team, be positive, and put the positivity out into the world, because it brings more positivity back. If you throw out ugliness, negativity, and hate, that's what you get back. So support your team, support your friends, get behind them. And I believe it's that time.
It is that time.
Folks.
There it is.
Hashtag Segle. Sege.
Hashtag Black People Vote.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching us tonight. Remember, find us on all the socials, the YouTubes, the Instas, the Facebooks, all of them. We're here for you and all of your blue and red needs. Thank you so much.
Peace. Love you all.